Hey, what's up, VC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for another hard rock and heavy metal update. Before we get started, in the background, we're listening to Widowmaker's self-titled album. I got to thank Scott by way of Greeno for getting me involved, or getting me into this band. So Greeno sent Scott an upgraded copy of the band's second album, and he sent his old copy to me as VCLT, and just kind of got me into the band. And then about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I ran across a copy of their first album, which is I really dig as well. And again, that's playing in the background. So. And then this next one I actually have to thank Scott and Greeno for as well. Greeno told Scott about it, Scott told us about it, and I picked up a copy. This is Steel Hammer live from Moscow, UDO. This was limited to 500, it's a 500 pressed on tricolor vinyl. Scott showed it, so I'll just grab one. But there's the red, it's on red, white, and blue vinyl. And Steel Hammer is, of course, their second to last album. They just had a new album come out just in the last few weeks. This was the album prior to that. So this was one that I ran across maybe a month and a half ago. No, actually, this was just a few days ago. I take that back. This is Primal Scream Volume 1. This is Primal Scream, the thrash band, not Primal Scream, the Irish alt band. Irish, I believe they are. Don't know, quote me. Maybe Scottish. But this is from 1987. It's not super thrashy. There's definitely some straight heavy metal elements to it. Still a cool album and still worth checking out if you're into metal or thrash. This is one that I found earlier today for just a couple bucks. I was really shocked to run across it where I did. The place where I found it is, I usually find some like... and they're real good for Elvis. It's an antique mall. They're real good for Elvis and some country. Not really a lot of hard rock and blues rock type albums. But Spooky Tooth. You broke my heart, so I busted your jaw. That's got to be one of the best album titles ever. I haven't even gotten a chance to give this a listen, though. Spooky Tooth, this was from 73, but Spooky Tooth started out as kind of a prog band, kind of moved in the hard prog direction, and they had some hard rock elements as well. So I look forward to checking this one out. And then that same place, I ran across this as well. Look at Yourself, Uriah Heep. This thing is a near mint copy. It was one of the earlier Uriah Heep albums I was missing, so... I'm really happy to have run across a copy of it. And I see this, don't get me wrong, I see this one all the time. They're just always beat up. I mean, this is a really popular album. People play the heck out of it, so. And this one I bought today as well. I paid like $4 for this. I take that back. I think I paid $6 for it, but I paid for it just to kind of test the waters with this band. I've heard of the band, I've seen their records around, and I never really grabbed onto any of them. So I decided to grab this one and give it a spin, and I really dug it. Cactus, Restrictions. This is a really cool hard rock, blues rock album. I love this song. I want to say this was probably their biggest hit for Widowmaker. I could be wrong, but this is the one that the one Widowmaker song that I hear on the radio. But anyway, Cactus, Restrictions, very cool. If you like blues rock, even if you like southern rock, there's little elements of that as well. Really good album. And I'll definitely be exploring more Cactus in the future if I run across it. This I just ran across for a good deal. I wasn't sure if I should do this in the hard rock update or a general vinyl update, but Guns N' Roses, Chinese Democracy. So I'm not a Guns N' Roses fan. I don't get how they got as big as they did outside of Appetite. I think Appetite was an amazing album, and I think everything that they put out after that was okay. Each of the albums after that had one or two good songs, maybe three. I just wasn't a fan of anything. Lies had a few songs I liked. Use Your Illusion 1 had a couple, and Use Your Illusion 2 had like one song I liked. I just always thought they were way overrated past that first album. And when they got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I was utterly amazed that they got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, basically off of one album. Let's be realistic. But this is not really a Guns N' Roses album. This is more of an Axl Rose, almost, I say, not even a solo album, but like a compilation, because you've got songs that are hard rock, you've got songs that are pop rock, there's ballads on. I mean, it's just a weird mix, but it's actually all pretty good songs. I mean, if you don't look at the fact that, if you ignore the fact that it's Guns N' Roses, it's pretty good songs, and there are some pretty heavy songs on here as well. And I have seen some live video of the band recently, and honestly, they sound pretty good, even playing the older songs. With Bumblefoot on guitar, that guy's, I mean, he's a kick-ass guitarist, you know, so. And this one had, I mean, there's so many guest appearances on this, you know, it's insane. So next up is Vixen, their self-titled album. So the reason I laugh, and this is actually a Canadian pressing, but I've been looking at this album for probably 6 months. I've had it at my record store, and I just always end up finding something that I want more than this album. I've wanted to get this for a while, but the reason that I joke about it is, one of the guys at the record store used to work for one of the record companies, and I don't know if he was a studio guy or, you know, where he worked in the music industry, but I've heard him talk about it before. And he mentioned that he happened to be to work with this band when they were recording one of their albums. He didn't say whether it was this album. He wasn't real specific, but he said that Roxy Petrucci, who was the drummer, in the studio would play the drums nude. And he said it wasn't something that you really wanted to watch. Every time I see this album now, it just makes me think of that and just cracks me up. But it's still a kick-ass album. I've always really liked Vixen. Next up, we've got Kim Mitchell, one of his solo albums. This is Akimbo a Logo. Pretty good hard rock album. There's some really good songs on here. I really dug it. This is the first Kim Mitchell that I've bought. I have one of the Max Webster albums in my collection, but I ran across this for $5 and pretty much near mint condition, other than the saw mark, and couldn't pass up. Like I said, it's really good. Oh, before I go any further, let me show these. These just came in today. I ran across this crazy deal on eBay. 3 albums in a row. 2 that I've been looking for forever, and 1 that I've been looking for in mint condition for a long time. And I was blown away to find all 3 of these. So I bid on them. I got them all for quite a bit under what they go for in this condition. So I was super happy. But they just came in. I totally forgot that I won the bid and was super happy when they came in today. But first up, a mint copy, steel sealed. Grim Reaper, See You in Hell. A mint copy, steel sealed, Grim Reaper's Fear No Evil. And then an opened, but near mint copy of Grim Reaper's Rock You to Hell. I've never seen this one in the wild. And the first 2, every time I see, they're trash. And I actually bought See You in Hell, if you guys remember this, about 6 months ago. And the entire process was a nightmare. It was an eBay deal. It took forever to get here. And then when it got here, it was in probably VG condition. It was advertised as near mint. So I was stoked to run across those, to say the least. And I would have probably paid twice what I paid for them off of eBay. So that was just a really, really killer find there. So this next band, I've actually got a couple of theirs. I have avoided this band for quite some time. I see their records somewhat regularly, but I never bought them based off of one song I heard. I picked up a 45 for a member of the VC that's a real big fan of this band. I ran across the 45 and I didn't like it. I didn't like the song. It's off of one of their 80s albums. And based off of that song, I completely avoided this band. And now I kind of kick myself because it's a really good band. There's really good hard rock. And that's April Wine. And I picked up this one and I really dug it. I gave it 3 or 4 spins and just really dug the album. And went back and got the other 2 albums that they had at that particular store. But this is, and I think I paid $4 for each of these, so, you know. But this is First Glance from April Wine. This was 78, I believe, 79. Yeah, I can't read that. 78 or 79. That's going to drive me nuts now. 78. Then I also picked up Power Play. And this one was... this one doesn't even say. And then from 81, this is Nature of the Beast. Next up, we've got just a classic heavy metal, traditional heavy metal. This is Titan. As far as I know, this is the only album that they put out. I haven't seen anything else from this band, but this was from 87. Like I said, it's just good classic heavy metal. Definitely worth checking out. Also, a new addition to the Hanoi Rocks collection, Back to Mystery City. Just another killer Hanoi Rocks. You know, I mean, we've talked about this before. This band is just so hard to put into a category. I mean, there's some hard rock elements to their music. I mean, there's definitely glam elements. I mean, a lot of the glam image came from this band. But there's also punk elements. There's some 70s rock elements. I mean, it really is just a hodgepodge. Killer band. And I picked that up along with a couple of these others, like the Titan from Oldies. Oldies just updated their clearance stock, and I bought 5 or 6 albums. This was a few weeks ago. And then they just updated them again yesterday, and I bought 5 or 6 more yesterday that I ordered. So this was one I ran across. I've been looking to upgrade my copy of this for a while, but this is Theater of Pain. I've talked about this before. This was pretty much my introduction to Motley Crue, and this was definitely the most played album in my house from probably, I don't know, from probably 85 to 88. I played this pretty much nonstop. I may be exaggerating a little, but not that much. I played the hell out of this album, and this obviously led me to the rest of the Motley Crue collection. I've been a huge fan ever since. So that's an upgrade. The copy that I had is probably about 2 grades less, so I was pretty happy to find that. This album, highly recommend this if you're into thrash. This is Wrath, Fit of Anger. This album just kicks ass. This is definitely a classic. If you run across this, grab it. This is another one, and actually I would recommend going on Oldies if this is still on there and grab a copy of this. Save that one for later. This I picked up for like $3. Open up and say just in really good condition. I didn't have this on vinyl. I have it on cassette and CD. But another hard rock piece, Megaforce from 707. This is another one I've been looking at for a while and just never pulled the trigger on. I finally grabbed it, and it's pretty good hard rock. Definitely worth checking out. Classic metal album here. Doomsday for the Deceiver from Flotsam and Jetsam. This is their first album with, and it was, I believe it's the only album that they did with Jason Newsted, who would leave after this and join Metallica. This was 86, so yeah, shortly after this is when he left. This was a trade. I've been doing a lot of trades too. A lot of stuff I don't listen to I've been putting up on the YouTube Selling Trade page, and I traded this one for a Locust 12-inch. Really good deal. But just a killer classic metal album. This next one, Misdemeanor from UFO. This is just kind of one of those deals where I'm trying to fill out the collection. This is probably about the time that I start losing interest in... I'm just not as big a fan. I don't want to say losing interest because there's still some good songs. But the mid-'80s era of UFO, just, you know, more that AOR sound. Just not as big a fan as I am with their 70s and early 80s stuff. This is another one. This was the last one I needed for this collection. This is Betsy. If you're not familiar, this is basically the band Bitch from Metal Blade Records. Their first two albums, the band's name was Bitch, and for this album, they changed to Betsy. Betsy's, of course, the lead singer of the band. But it's basically the third Bitch album. Really good, definitely worth checking out. Again, just straight up 80s heavy metal, some classic metal. Raven. This album is awesome. This is the Mad EP. Raven, I don't remember the name of the album. Raven had put out an album where they kind of changed their sound, and it just kind of pissed everybody out. The fans were pissed. Everybody was upset. So they came back out and put out this EP, I believe the next year. It may have been later the same year. And it's just a 5-song EP. It just kicks ass. Speed of Reflex and How Did You Get So Crazy? Just killer. Raven, more their early heavy sound. Just a really good album. Highly recommend picking this one up. Again, also got this one on Oldies for like $5. And it was sealed. Good deal, you know. Next up, this one was a trade, I believe. And I don't remember what I traded for. But this is Heavy Pettin'. This is their first album. Is this the U.S. pressing? I can't remember. Very much a new wave of British heavy metal sound, though. I love this thing. As cheesy as that album art is, too, I've always really loved that album art. I used to have this one on CD. Not sure what happened to the CD, but when I saw this one, I had to pick it up. Also from Oldies, I picked up a copy of No Bones About It from Skull. This is Bob Kulick's band. If you're not familiar with Bob Kulick, actually, this is him right here. His brother is Bruce Kulick. He actually recorded on, I think, 4 different Kiss albums. Bob Kulick played guitar on. Not full albums, just tracks on those 4 albums. But from what I read, he really had a lot to do with his brother joining Kiss. He was the one that recommended it. And what's also cool is this was produced by Eddie Kramer. So, and I don't know how this happened. This was sealed, but it's got some damage right there. I don't know. It's really weird. It's like 2 records at the press were next to each other, and the paper from one record stuck to this one because it was under the shrink. And this hasn't been rewrapped. I mean, it looks like to be the original shrink. I mean, the album's in mint condition. But just really weird that under the plastic there's damage like that. But really good album. It's funny, one of my local record stores has this for $90 and I can't figure out why. And this one's the UK pressing. Let's see, I also picked up a couple of comps. This one is more 70s rock, but this is vintage rock. This one is this K-Tel? Yeah, this one's a K-Tel. You got Deep Purple, Free, Mountain, Steppenwolf, Procol Harum, Jethro Tull, Jefferson Airplane, The Animals, Grand Funk. Paid $1 for it. And then this one's really cool. I had never seen this one before or heard of this one before. But this is Let Them Eat Rock. And this one is an RCA heavy metal comp. It's got Final Scream from Grim Reaper off of Fear No Evil, which I just showed a little bit ago. New Birth off of from Mass. Deep End from Autograph. The Hunter from Shy. I would love to find Brave the Storm from Shy. Diamonds and Rust. Let's see. and it's the hero version of Diamonds and Rust. And then let's see, another autograph, Crying in the Wind from White Wolf. Let's see, Get It While You Can from Gary O, and then Virgin Killer from the Scorpions. So really cool, and this was sealed when I grabbed it. And it's that win 1,000 free Hit Paraders. Hit Parader Let Them Eat Rock t-shirts. So apparently Hit Parader had something to do with this as well, but RCA comp. This one is Kraft. Pretty good hard rock. Another band I had never heard of before. I saw the cover and looked it up, and it listed as hard rock heavy metal. Definitely more hard rock, but still pretty cool band. Definitely worth checking out. Kraft with 2 A's. And then this is another one of those bands that I've seen people show, but I just never grabbed. I've seen a couple of their albums, and now I'm going to go back and try to find those again. But this is Headpen's Line of Fire. And, man, this is really good heavy hard rock. Almost heavy metal. It's pretty heavy. Female-fronted band. The female vocalist sounds amazing. And I'm trying to think. John mentioned that a couple of the members of this band are from, is it Chilliwick? I'm probably saying that wrong, but it's one of his favorite bands, SMF Captain Howdy. So a couple of members wanted to do something with a female artist or a female singer, and they put together the Headpens. And like I said, this album just rips. This will be in heavy rotation for the next little while here. So, and then last but not least, for all of you Kiss fans out there, I picked this one up. This album is awesome. This is what Kiss My Ass should have been. This is Spin the Bottle, an all-star tribute to Kiss. The CD has a different cover. The CD has a picture of a chick, really sexy girl. For some reason, the LP came with this. It doesn't matter. But let me just listen to who's on here. There's no bands on here. It's individual people got together and recorded songs together. But I mean, the people that are on here, you've got Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, John Tempesta from Testament and Exodus, Doug Aldrich, Tommy Shaw. Let's see, Mark Slaughter, Ryan Roxy. Let's see, Chris Jericho from Fozzy. Mike Inez from Alice in Chains, Kip Winger, Buzz Osborne, that's King Buzzo from, now I can't think of their name right now, the Seattle, or the Washington band. Anyway, King Buzzo, it'll come to me. Bruce and Bob Kulick are on here, Paige Hamilton from Helmet, Lemmy, Jennifer Batten, Samantha Maloney, she played drums for Motley Crue for a while. Doug Panique, again Bob Kulick. Let's see, Phil Lewis from LA Guns with Gilby Clarke, Jeff Pilson, and Bobby Rock. Ryan McCauley, CC DeVille. I mean, this thing is star-studded, and this album kicks ass. Highly, highly recommend this. This is the best Kiss tribute that I've heard. And I've heard 4 or 5 different tributes. So, again, check this one. Another one I got on Oldies. This is the main thing that got me on Oldies a couple of weeks ago. This is one that I've been watching for a while. It said there were only a couple copies left, so I wanted to grab one. And ended up grabbing a few other albums as well. But seriously, that album's an ass kicker right there. So that's it. Like I said, it's been quite a while since I did a hard rock and heavy metal update. So I wanted to show that stuff. I think that's pretty much. Let me look around and make sure nothing else is jumping out at me. But other than that, my next video should be my Judas Priest collection. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, take care, VC. Have a good week.